Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder of Pat Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino. How is everyone doing? Low volume day. Did everybody already take the week off? Volatility in crude, volatility in notes, dollar running, cats and dogs dancing. Hey, Daniel, how are you doing? Happy Monday. Good afternoon, Patrick. Tesla looking to hit the next major target area sooner than I thought. Hey, Nas. Hey, Gary. Hey, it's Mike. Hi, Chris. How is everyone doing? I hope you all had a wonderful day, whipsaw day, and VIX keeps falling. Volume was super low. Apple getting hit a little on the reports out of China with the iPhone 14 delays with that being built, the demand. So cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. I just had it dancing. I didn't go as far as having them live together. What kind of thing are you promoting, Ted? Oh, Red Week. George is on the Red Week. George's Red Week. George, week's not over. Could be a red week. Got to trade what is. So tomorrow we had Fed speaks this afternoon, not saying much new. We have Richmond Fed index at 9. More Fed speak, and that's about it. The only thing I'm paying attention to tomorrow is if this is still in contraction across the board. We got manufacturing and services. Market map. Microsoft up a little bit, Apple down with the news out of China, more lockdown, China lockdowns. Tesla getting it in the shorts. The mega caps pulling back. Consumer defensive still attracting money. Some things like value stocks and stable plays, Coke and Pepsi. Oil taking it in the shorts, hope trailing stops on oil. You can see here on the sector overview, energy down 140 basis points, technology taking it, again, the shorts, communication services, still nothing to get there. Defensive and utilities, I pointed out the little potential utility sector play. Consumer cyclical also, then the rest about neutral. Fed watch. Get the ads out of here. Fed watch 75 to 25, still favoring the 50 basis points. Fear and greed, still in greed mode. We had Zoom and Dell. That's what I was glancing at. Dell was a gap up. Zoom looked like it was a gap down after I did not see the results yet. So I do not know. Tomorrow morning we have Best Buy and Dollar Tree. Do take note of those because it could start affecting stuff with retail and the consumer, especially if their outlook on the holiday shopping season. So, hey, Paul, what happened to Tesla? Tesla's going down. What do you mean, how it happened to Tesla? Tesla? There we go. Went through the even closer. This was a very weak close. It's going to hit this. I didn't think we'd hit it this quickly. The 163 area. By the way, the little potential double is off the table. Remember, you always just got to analyze, be prepared. But this just following the rotation zone down. What's that? Can somebody do the quick math for me? What's 3 times 168 virtually? What I want to know what that is. Pre-split. Pre-split. I'm just curious. Let's just peek at Tesla. This is going to get bloody. Closing in. Remember, this area is critical, and this would be a bounce area I'd be watching for, not a long-term buy. I think we're going bye-bye in the stock before this is all over. But you got the 200 week there, you got a harmonic, and you got the key 62.5. You get a longer term close below the 62.5. Oh, I would not want to still be in this stock at all. And it's broken all this major support. Let's take off some of these old lines. They're too far away now, but look at this. Even on a rally back, look where your weekly rotation zone, look where the prior support becoming resistance is, back at 192. So even on bounce plays, below 200 is now key resistance. Oh boy. Feel sorry for the Tesla bulls. Let's see. That's a Bill Murray line from Ghostbusters. Which, oh, yeah, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. That is correct. Thank you for reminding me. I do remember that line now. Sounded familiar. Let's get back to the S&P. Coco saying ES bull flag on daily. It's not really a flag. It's now just a leveling out pattern. Here's what I was talking about with volume. Look at this. In case you didn't notice, the volume. Woo! I mean, is this the lowest volume of the year? It's pretty gosh darn close to it, if not the... No, yeah. I mean, this is volume. So, this is just a pullback holding the rotation zone so far. Holding the rotation zone so far, getting cycles to the bottom. So I'm going to be watching to see now on the next bounce what the cycles turn up for and how strong it is. Not expecting a huge push higher above these final key targets on the rotation back up, but cycles starting to flatten out at the bottom. So pay attention to this, especially with a low volume week. If anything bullish comes out, you could see an interesting little rally. If we do break below this, levels are virtually the same. Levels are the same, 39.30, 39.32 area, and then major 39.12, 39.14. Nothing much there. Still, that 50% harmonic 39.81 is the key thing I'm watching, then 39.99. Not much else to talk about. We'll call it a day, right? This is more of a flagging channel pattern. Weaker close with the NASDAQ cycles now solidly at the bottom. Interesting enough, on tomorrow, if it did close above today's high, it would be a modified percent B buy. Also, want to point this out. You might be wondering, this is a double. But why, with the second and third target, do I have it on here? Well, because it still qualifies on the 1 hour. And the 1 hour, which means I could use, this could trigger with a 1 hour close, but the 1 hour second target is into the candle still, and it's still valid on the 1 hour. If this was invalidated on the 1 hour, then it would not be on the charts because I would need a close on a 4 hour basis and the targets do not line up. But this does still go into that. So pay attention to that. That could be another short-term bullish signal before the 62.5. Has it triggered? Not anywhere close. Could it be invalidated with a further pullback? Yes. But I am watching, because it helps to analyze both sides of the market, to not get caught blindsided. I just want to check out something else here. So on a pullback, then I'll be a little closer than this 11,420. I'll be watching about 11,450 area. We got this little harmonic cluster right there on a continued pullback. And that would also, if it pulled back there, invalidate the potential double. So, not much else to talk about, really. Cycles getting to the bottom. Dow, only down 24 points today. And still this gosh darn 62.5. What is it doing to me? What's it doing? Same levels still. Nothing else to talk about. Same levels as this morning, although 33,900's been reinforced again. A break above there, if it does not get immediate selling pressure, you could see a run higher. So that's the key area I'm watching. And then 34, 450. I mean, 33, 450 key support. Russell tried a little breakdown, bottom of the rotation zone, bouncing back into, so couldn't even break the rotation zone. Cycles at the bottom. So far, it's got the cycles from the top to the bottom without a lot of damage to the market. Zoom earnings beat 107 reported versus 83 cents. Let me check in on Zoom then, see how that's. Is that still a Kathy Wood favorite? So gap down. So they beat on revenue and on earnings. Did they give guidance or anything? Because they're selling off with a beat. Yeah, Sterling put up the revenue too. Yeah, they're down. Tesla to 420 pre-split. What's that price and what? Oh boy, you guys are gonna make me work for it. Oh, come on, give me my calculator. What is 420 divided by 3? 140. I should have been able to do that in my head. Where are we trading right now? I just want to figure this out. 167. I'm back to Tesla, by the way. Just thinking of 501. So we're at $500. Wow. Oh, thanks. See, then you could put me. I should just go ahead in the comments first. I'll get back to your questions, business person. I still love that name, business person. Thank you for joining. Do you think about REITs such as Annaly that pay 17% dividend? You can. But there's a lot more risk. There's a lot more risk going into them right now with everything. So I treat REITs with a dividend differently because you can get hit with the share price a lot harder. Chris, what are you thinking? 400 in the SPY breakout, 403 on the spiders. It's virtually the same as I talked about today. I'd be watching tomorrow, today's high, then 397, then 400. Then I'd be targeting the 403.78 and then 405.34. As long as this week holds this 390.49, I'll be watching for a rotation play back up with cycles at the bottom. You were all in Tesla at the beginning of the year. I'm glad you're not anymore too. Now let's get back to a couple of the things that I'll get to business persons questions. Nothing much on the DAX. The notes tried to rally and then closing back down on the lows. This is the lowest close since right around last Monday, but I'm watching to see how this still reacts. Nothing's invalidated with the double bottom. Dollar index very strong today, closing in the rotation zone, so I'm now targeting a continued rally. About 108 is the next target area there, and then it'd be about 108.50 area for the targets. Next targets. VIX rolling down. For those wondering, yeah, this is a little sloppy, but it's something to watch for if it were to trigger. It could be invalidated long before it triggers, but that could be if we were watching for a bigger sell-off or a continued, hey, was this going to sell off and morph into something bigger? You do have a potential double bottom. I am still expecting it to come down to this 21 level from probabilities. Crude. The Wall Street Journal report that OPEC was going to increase production, sell-off, and then Saudis denied it, bounce back. Overall, there's still a fair amount of buying pressure down here. However, if this were to break now, this key 75.50 area, you could really see a quick trip to 70 bucks. Rally would now be, key resistance is about 82. Where do we sit? Bitcoin. Looks like we could close at new lows on the daily basis. Bitcoin getting a little hammered and cycles still have some room to run down. I will not be surprised to see substantially lower price, but has anybody checked on Coinbase? Coin. This is a new low. It will be on a closing basis too. Coin is breaking down. And the CEO sold out of all his stock. Not a good sign. Not a good sign there. All right. Let me get back to, then I'll get to some other stuff. How would you play defensive names like LMT? I mean, LMT, I'm just going to play them with the key patterns here. Right now, as long as this holds, as long as this is holding the daily rotation zone, you have a fair amount of support here. What would take it off the table in the short term would be a close back below 419. But other than that, it's holding, it's retested, it's a defensive play. So once we get a stronger sell-off, it's holding near its highs. I would not be aggressively buying it just yet. But as long as it holds up here, it's primed for a potential breakout play if the market gets a substantial rollover. Just that's on the weekly basis. So you have on the daily basis coming back down. So on the short term, if it starts breaking below 463, would watch for the bigger pullback closer to the 50% retracement, and then the 200 would be an area I'd watch for a bottoming pattern. Other than that, I would not be chasing it higher here with weekly cycles at the top, daily cycles getting back. I'd be watching for this 465, 460, 465 support base to hold in the short term. And then if that breaks, I wouldn't be in it until it found a lower price action. So, I mean, all these general dynamics, it's really got to hold this 242.75. We break below that, I'd be watching for a return closer to 200 in this one too. Which would be between the 50 and the 62.5. You still have a gap down here. So if you're already in something, my line in the sand would be 242.75 on a closing basis. You might get a little minor support at the 50, but this has some room to run back down. So other than that, the breakout plays, these can be, if the market starts rolling out over and these break to highs, it's based off the last harmonic push. This can easily be played. You don't need to play it in here. These could easily be played on breaks like this. A break above 254. It could be done with a breakout play, which would be my preferred way right now. Do we get a little mini? Nah, that's it. My way to play this preferably would be on a breakout play, because then I know this held support. I could keep an even tighter stop. And then if the market starts rolling over, turn it into a bigger position play with trailing stops. Personally, this is sort of in no man's land right now with cycles at the top on the daily rolling over on the weekly. That's why I'd much rather to try to get in some of these defensive plays on a pullback. Or if people wonder, well, why don't you just buy it now? Why would you buy it at a higher price? Because a higher price would confirm a breakout to me. Right now, it's in no man's land and where it is on a cycle basis. I don't need to chase it. So a breakout play confirms the strength continuing to rotate into defensive stuff, defensive sectors, and specifically defensive companies like General Dynamics, like Lockheed Martin. So that's pretty much what I would be doing. NOC, Northrop Grumman. Cycles at the top daily, rolling over not at the bottom of the weekly. I'd be watching for, personally, a pullback play on this right now. Some of these things I'd be watching for a pullback play. Oops, did not mean to put it there. I'm just looking for this. Yeah, that's what I'd really be looking for. Some of these pullback plays, I mean, this I'd be watching closer to $500 for a potential play, and then a reversal once it gets back to daily cycle bottoms. And this would be, since this is not as strong a breakout play because you got a stopping point at 540 right here. You can see the significance right there. Gap just below that level, held up, closed back below there. Couldn't even get back to that level to test it, then close down, re-gap open at that level, close down. This is where, even on a run, you got so much thing here. This would be at the bottom of my list off the 3 you listed. I like Lockheed Martin and General Dynamics before Northrop. Northrop I'd be looking at on a pullback area. Now I can get... Okay. Your thoughts on GTBC's refusal to show its certification of assets? I think it's going to be. And that's going to unravel. GTBC, by the way, what did I punch in? Is the bit? Why isn't that? Did I do that wrong? Is the, I don't know why that's not showing up. Is the Gold Trust GBTC? Thank you. There we go. There we go. I was typing it backwards. I think this is going to unravel. Personally, it's trading at a huge discount. Again, why won't you disclose where it is sitting on the blockchain? For security reasons, that's the whole friggin' point of keeping it on a blockchain. You're not giving out your private keys. It's the whole point. It's a lame excuse. You know, and between the way this is trading and the way Coinbase is trading, wouldn't touch it. Would not touch this. Again, I said when this started with FTX, there's never one cockroach. It's the cockroach theory. And the more cockroaches are defined, the more the infestation is. So would I be touching this? No. It's trading at a huge discount to NAV, but I wouldn't. It was not worth the risk for me. And I think if this goes, you're going to see the regulators finally really crack down on anything crypto related that's publicly traded. Thanks, George. You're welcome, business person. So it's why you're not seeing a bunch of people just running like from Wall Street people, hey, this is trading at a huge discount to NAV. Let's just run in and buy it because if you're, I guess you could run in and buy this and then short the futures as a hedge. Because if this goes under, the futures Bitcoin will go down even more. But it's not, don't even know if it could be structured well. As this, all right, so if this like returns to the NAV, if it's going to even, I wouldn't play it. I'd steer clear of it. So is MNQ why am I at intervals? It's that's the micro. Yes. No, is it the same as the Qs? It's it's the micro Nasdaq 100 index futures. It's going to trade. You can see here it trades all day long and all night. So you want to trade something that trade like where the Qs besides pre and post market, which is not as liquid. If you want to trade the micro, I always think you should trade the micros futures. But so many people like to trade the spiders and the Qs, but I like to trade the mini and the micros, S&P, mini and micro Nasdaqs, because it gives you the flexibility with especially overnight price action. For example, what I point out in the regular NQ, the NASDAQ, you have the same exact double. Right there. See? Right there. So I like to personally, that's why I like favorite. That's why we do the analysis on this verse. You'll see it here. You have it because this double was formed during trading hours, but you see we got the gaps in there because it doesn't include the overnight session. So you get all the additional gaps and the doubles technically not valid on the Qs. That's why I covered the NAS and the S&P futures a lot more than I do the spiders and the Qs. Because you can trade these micro futures with a lot smaller accounts. And gap harmonics work on the futures too if there's a gap, yes. Can we go over Walmart price targets for this week? Yeah, then I'm going to wrap it up. Walmart price target, you had the, what the, did my lines move again? Well, that doubles off here. The Walmart price targets for this week, 155.33 to the upside. You want the intermediate targets. This is how you should use the harmonics. So if you're long it, 151 would be a stop raise for me. Next intermediate target would be 153.27, then 155.33 would be a key target. I just want to update this level. And the key pullback level is about 140, It's just in front of 140, 147 with the rising rotation zone. So that's here. If you start breaking back down, depending on your time frame, but if you start breaking back down below about 149.60, I would be careful because you could get the pretty quick gap fill if we get some market damage coming in this week. But for me, this is still, after closing above the 62.5, I got to go with the probabilities to run to the 87.5. And now it's broken above the channel lines. I think there is a chance that coin goes under. I know they're saying they're fine, but I think there is. I don't think the crypto carnage is anywhere close to being done yet. So I would personally steer clear of it. You're welcome, Royal Palms. You're welcome, Gary. Geez, why do we get... Yeah, and that's another good point, Jacob, that I forgot to bring up when we were talking about the mini and the micros. No pattern day trading on futures. You can trade them in and out all day long. You don't have to worry. So, if again, I mean, if you have a large enough account, what is it, about 25K, you can get labeled as a pattern day trader, which is a pain in the butt. But you have to have at least a 25K account, and then you can trade with leverage of 4-to-1. You don't have to worry about that in futures. You're just a futures trader. And the futures are so friggin' liquid. Even in thinner markets. Yeah, in thinner markets it's slightly more challenging because you can get the quick runs, but they're still way more liquid than most things out there. So I'm not I get nothing from what anybody trades. I know Bob's sort of affiliated with the CME. I am not. I don't get anything from the CME, so I don't get anything for promoting futures. I've just always... That's why I used to have a Series 3 also. I think more people, once you're good and you want to trade the broad market, learning to trade some of these... It was harder for a lot of people when there was only the full contract and the mini, but with the micros, if you can't have a micro account, then I don't think you should be trading anything. Yeah, 25K. Any overnight trade ideas? Not really. Not really. Thinner market slowing down, consolidation. The stuff I'm watching for tomorrow with cycles on the bottom is I'm watching for us to get that to start running above that 50% level on the upside or break down to, again, we tried to break down both via yesterday's low and snapback, so I'll use today's low. If we break down towards there, I will be targeting the Thursday the 17th lows and then the bottom of the rotation zone about 38.90 in the S&P. You can come up with those same levels on all the indices. That's virtually what I'm watching, but I'm paying very close attention on everything to the 50% retracement level. Why we start getting above that, quick target of the 62.5, and then we could make a run back to the higher area. And I forgot, why did I not update that? Oh, wow. So if we did go through to 200, that's interesting. The next harmonic, look at that, retracement and projected harmonic cluster at that 75% level. Interesting. All right. Good point. Yes, if your crypto isn't in a USB key or a crypto hard wallet, something in your possession, do it now. Just like, see, I got my ledger. I get it off any exchange. Do not keep any of crypto on your exchange, on any exchange at this point. Keep it in a wallet. There you go. Good advice, George. You're not seeing the micro moving. Right now, the micro's not moving because right now it's closed. What do you mean I'm an anti-crypto guy? I'm not anti-crypto. I'm just waiting for the. I've said all along. I'm waiting for the riffraff to get flushed out. I used to cover crypto on a much more regular basis. There's just too much riffraff. There's too much. It's got to get washed out. We got to get. Yeah, it's always going to be used by some bad players, but it turned into blatant fraud. Blatant fraud. So I'm not anti-crypto. I'm anti-fraud crypto. Bitcoin itself is not a Ponzi. There's lots of Ponzis out there that are anchored with Bitcoin. For example, Tether's a Ponzi. FTX was a Ponzi. I've been talking about Tether for years. The mere fact that they can print Tethers out of thin air. The wash trading has got ridiculous. All right, there's a lot that's wrong, that's structurally gone to crap in crypto. So I am watching. I don't think crypto is going to completely disappear. I want some of these bad act. What did I put? Jeez, I can't. I can't even speak or type today. So yeah. Think we get a rotation back up in INTC. Yeah. This right at the rotation zone right here. I was watching to see if it popped today. This would be way too sloppy of a double. I'd just be watching if it breaks down below this 2881 level. That would take it also below the daily rotation zone and below this channel. I'd be watching for a gap fill play back between the 650 and the 62.5. Cycles are getting to the bottom, so if it holds here, you could see a rotation back up. But longer term, I think we're going to get another pullback in this still. Into the weekly rotation zone, starting to rotate back down. Even if it popped back up, that could still be valid on a weekly basis if it popped back up for a double, which would be nice because then we'd have probabilities and targets to utilize for a pullback. Cycles at the top. Would I be doing anything other than keeping a trailing stop for shorter term positions, or depending on how you're trading around a core position, you can always lighten up even on a pop and then look to re-add at lower prices. The SPY chart on a 5-minute had a spike to 400. Probably a bad. I don't have a spike to 400, so it's probably just a bad tick. Uh, World Upon, or are you looking for a wallet? I mean, personally, I just use Ledger. That's one I've used for years. Doesn't work with all coins, but at this point, I don't think people should be in a lot of crap coins anyways. I get your stuff into the majors and park it in your possession. I liked playing after hours in the beginning to practice placing and getting orders filled. Yeah, commissions can add up, but that is, you can in slower market conditions. You know, you can do a lot of practicing. Oh boy. Sorry, I got a. Whew, I just got a leg cramp. Excuse me. Sorry. Wow. That was a leg cramp and a half. If USDT is a Ponzi, all cryptos will go to. I don't think Bitcoin will go to zero. It'll get hammered. I'm waiting for it to get hammered. So Daniel uses Ledger too. There you go. The coins were used to build games in the metaverse. There we go. Rest assured, Maxine Waters is investigating what happened with FTX. Never mind the video of her blowing SPF a kiss on the House floor last time he testified. Probably nothing. I don't have any comments on this crap. You know, so, yeah, I take a lot of magnesium. I even take magnesium before bedtime. I find it helps me sleep. I take potassium and magnesium because I do hard workouts every day. Hard workouts, but for some reason I just got a weird leg cramp. Thank you for those tips. Also, thank you if you're watching this, P-Dubs. P-Dubs reminded me to take my zinc and vitamin D, which is always good to take, vitamin D3. So if you're watching this on replay, P-Dubs, I did see your comment. I can't wait till Sailor gets the margin call. Hey, Mike, any chance you could do a video on for the members on how option gamma affects the ES? I assume it works like support or resistance level, something like that, but not sure. What you mean the gamma, all you want to pay attention to for that, Legion, is whether we're in positive or negative gamma mode. Because now you're going to look at the strikes. And the strikes with the biggest open interest are, yes, they are going to be magnet plays. So we still have a huge open interest at 4K. So now this can shift rapidly now because the option duration holding period has gotten so short. So if you're not already, sign up for Tier 1 Alpha's free email letter. And they go over a lot of stuff every day. I'm not affiliated with them at all. It's a free letter. You'll learn a lot from there. More water. I probably did not drink enough water today. Thank you, Gary. Mustard? Never heard that one, Sterling. Mustard? Ah, well. I don't know if they do have a paid for service just yet. It's, if you come up here, again, I have no affiliate. Tier 1. Alpha. Yeah, so you can sign up for free. Whatever. I don't even think they have a paid membership yet. I know at some point they will. So yeah, this is, it's really good here. You can get their free newsletter. It highlights stuff. It highlights the put call gamma, exposure by strike. So I mean, some of the stuff is interesting that they do with their MBAD indicator, which is the sectors. So yeah, just a little tip. Just try to help people out, finding useful information. And you can sign up for more expensive paid services, but unless you're really heavily trading the options in it and trying to do stuff on a daily basis, I just find tracking it overall can help fine tune some of the stuff with trading. No, I'm not watching the World Cup. Eating a teaspoon of. All right, I'm going to try that, Sterling. Yeah, especially for close to those levels. It'd be nice to see the shift over the day. I mean, you can sign up. There's other bigger services that do track gamma stuff. They're just, you're going to pay a bunch of money per month. They're good services, but it depends. I know a lot of people who try to keep expenses down. So, especially if you're newer, so that's one of the free services for the time being. All right. With that, thank you everyone for tuning in. And I will be back tomorrow morning. Talk to everyone later. Have a fantastic night. Bye for now.